Palette cleanser meme.
Hey guys, I was just at the theater and I was thinking.
No,
at all. No, not at all. What are you talking
about? We saw
about?
the title of the video, so just don't do that. I don't know what you're thinking, but
not
just
at
stop
all.
it.
Yeah, that probably wasn't a. I don't know what I was thinking.
This concept is not worth it. Just bail, dude.
Get out of there.
Just bail. It's not worth it.
Okay. You don't think there's any way to salvage it? The whole concept?
No.
No. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll do something else. We'll just reformat this whole thing. Do you think? Do people who watch the videos do they even see the titles?
It's the first thing you see. It's the first thing anyone sees. That's why they click it.
Like,
so
yeah, I shouldn't even. I don't even know why I uploaded this. All right.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Hard to understand. Why is it so hard to understand? When somebody else gets them right, it's not like a damn pie. Oh, somebody got a bigger piece of pie, I don't get it. Rights aren't that way. There's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody to be included. Same thing with jobs. Same thing with housing. Same thing with health care. So, you saw it. We are not going to allow them to make the case. Yes, they're a threat, but we're not going to stay in their frame. We're not going to stay where they're at. We're not going to play their game. We called them out for the weird nonsense that they believe, and we presented a different argument to the American public, one where everybody matters, one where we can achieve, one where we solve problems. And what's so...
Why would I link this? Why are you guys linking me such random shit? Governor Waltz on a trail stumping for Harris, posting a few of his remarks stuck out to me. Okay. You guys are making me feel schizophrenic. How do you feel about this Republicans are weird angle that Dems are picking up recently? I'm all here for it. Anybody that's attacking Republicans, I'm here for it. 100%. Someone sent him the crazy LSD cow video. I want to use the bathroom real quick. People don't die from peeing. House MD, 10-minute clip. Oh, shit. Do you watch Lyrical Lemonade? Nope.
Alex O'Connor, the cosmic skeptic, recently went on Jordan Peterson. I'm not going to...
Watch my debate review clip. We'll start at the right time, 2 minutes. You both missed that they were charged with insurrection in January 6th. You know what? You're right, actually. There's actually a really strong argument that I can lean into for that. And I will, I guess, for future debates, although, like I said, that one was an exceptionally weird one. But it's two things. It's one, the highest court of review found that January 6th was an insurrection, which was the Colorado Supreme Court. And Supreme Court did not reject that characterization of January 6th. The second thing was there was a state, it might have been Michigan. I'd have to look up the case. I'll have it if it comes up in a future debate, where somebody actually was blocked from taking office because of the 14th Amendment. And they challenged that up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court didn't even hear the case. So that court's decision stood that, oh, J6 was an insurrection, you can be disqualified for it. And if you want to be technical, this, the Senate did actually feel like it was an insurrection as well. The only reason Trump didn't get convicted there is because they felt like you couldn't convict an ex-president. So I mean, like, technically, in all of the highest places of review, it was basically said to be an insurrection. Oh, it was New Mexico, yeah. So I mean, like, yeah. But also, like, again, Andrew's arguments were deeply unserious. So what is this?
Gonna play there's a bunch of stuff about religion and funny things that Jordan said and whatnot that happened there, but there is a little bit where Jordan talks to Alex about like a potential shift in the way that he's been approaching topics, and I think it's relevant to us. So just listen to this.
You mentioned just before we actually went on air that had you come to see me a couple of years ago, you might have been more inclined to, I'm putting words in your mouth to some degree, so correct me if I'm wrong, to strive for a victory or to make your point, something like that. And you alluded to the fact that your thinking around that has changed to some degree. I suspect that's probably a consequence of experience. So what's changed?
In part, it might have something to do with becoming a podcaster and speaking weekly to people. And you can't keep up that energy. Well, you can, but it becomes totally unwatchable. And nobody wants to engage in that all the time. I think there are times when it's worth doing. And to be clear, I still like to disagree.
How does SCOTUS let New Mexico use the 14th to disqualify someone and also say they can't do it for president? Because SCOTUS, in my opinion, kind of foolishly, they ruled in two ways. They said that Congress needs to pass legislation if they want the states to be able to enforce it, and they ruled that only the federal government, or it can only be enforced for federal purposes. That's how SCOTUS got rid of that case.
So essentially unapologetically and bluntly, and that can still come across as quite rude. But I think that the way that I would think about a conversation is that, well, what are we about to do here? A debate. We're about to debate an issue, and I'm going to try to win. And that's, and not even, I mean, maybe there's sort of an element of pride in there. You want to win for that sake, but also you really think, well, I want to win because I think I'm right about this. And if I don't, then, I must have just not expressed myself properly. I think what I probably meant when I was saying that is that I would have had more of that cap on.
Wasn't that guy banned from state office? Did I misspeak, or did I not say what was in my brain? The federal government said that the states can't enforce it for like federal offices, but they can enforce it for themselves. So a state can't do it to ban somebody for running for Congress or running for president, but they could for like a state thing.
Then now, after having so many conversations with so many people and realizing that not only is it more constructive for myself, I've learned a lot more. And now I'm here like, hey, I might learn something today. That would be great. Even if I just learn something about what your worldview is. But also people listening, just unanimously.
How does that make any sense though? It doesn't, but I mean, that's...
Say that they prefer it.
The last point being quite important. In the positive interpretation there, he's talking about not approaching things like a debate pro, like being willing to hear, there is value to hearing even people you strongly disagree with what their perspective is, and you can challenge people without being obnoxious and whatnot. But there's also the notion that being indulgent, seeking out to avoid saying things too harshly, increases your audience, gets you to speak to people. And
take the point of view of being a seeker of new information, a bit like the sense makers who don't criticize each other's points of view, but rather they seek to find that.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Now you mind fucked me. You're absolutely right. Destiny, I always thought that these two voices should be swapped. You're absolutely correct.
Little bit that they can take and then integrate and then build on. It's very touchy-feely, nice sounding stuff, but what it means, doesn't it, in practice, is that all of the figures circulating in the conversational sphere are always basically clapping each other on the back and nodding their heads about how wise and interesting and fascinating everyone else is.
Yeah, and I will say that actually I think in this conversation with Jordan, Alex Roller deftly manages Jordan's ego and still raises points of criticism and, occasionally highlights flaws in his logic. It's quite well done. So this might be an illustration of the approach that he's talking about bearing fruit. But on the other hand, I saw Alex talk with Jonathan Pajot, and they discussed symbolic, sense-makery, religious symbolism, interpretations and stuff. And then were impressed that they were able to have, an insightful conversation despite him being an atheist and Pajot being a symbolic religious person. And I was like, yeah, but that isn't that impressive.
Yeah, like you're not doing anyone a service, are you? If you went and spoke to Jonathan Pajot and you eliminated the 95% of stuff which you were completely whatever, and you found something that you could agree on together, then are you doing anyone a service with that? I don't think so.
I think the thing that some people see it as a service is you're humanizing the other person, right? Because you're showing that you can communicate across like an atheist and a Christian. But again, perhaps this is naive of me, but I'm like, of course you can. Like I had various attempts or offers mainly from like the Rebel Wisdom people who wanted me to talk to Pajot. And I was fine. I said, I'll talk to Pajot, but I'm going to say the same things that I would say in another, like I'll raise the points of criticism I have with him, which are about the conspiracy promotion.
You want a discussion with these right-wingers again? Do you think they would be willing to have one with you after this point in your career? No, actually. I don't think most of them will. I have a clear concept now, I think, of the civility thing. I have a clearer concept of what it means. After seeing... I shouldn't say that my bridge with legs is burned. Maybe it's not, but we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, but we'll see. But in seeing all of the other ones that went up so quickly and to see how the behavior changed, I think I understand what's happened. So I think you have these... I think you have like what do we say? Let's call it we'll call it a spectrum of acceptable political beliefs. So these are the political beliefs. Wait, I haven't written this down anywhere, but we'll say this. Inside the green are our acceptable political beliefs, okay? These are the things that we believe. These are the things that we want our audience to believe, okay? Yeah. Then there's a tiny bit of wiggle room outside where we can hear somebody with a different opinion, all right? And then outside of that, we have no go. We don't talk to people that have opinions like this. What's actually happening when somebody says, wow, I'm so happy that we've had a civil conversation, is if you've got people that represent this part of the political spectrum, like let's say that this person right here is Tim Pool, and these are the ideas, right? So we'll say this green thing is like the anti-establishment thought that you're allowed to give, basically, and still be considered like part of this group of people, right? If this line here is Tim Pool, then he will happily chat with people who will express opinions through here and then say, wow, we're having such good civil conversations. Wow, this is fine. This is cool. Oh my God, this is cool. We've got great conversations. But then as soon as it touches like here, now it's unacceptable. This can never, ever, ever happen. The crossing from like the red into the green can never, ever be the case. There's a manner of dealing with these people, or a manner of expressing certain things where it has to be done in a way that's not too challenging, that doesn't push back that much, that keeps it in this kind of like comfortable orange thing where you've got kind of like this fake pushback. But as soon as you start providing like real pushback or more hardcore pushback or more substantive pushback, I think it hits an area where you no longer can, like once it touches here, then everything becomes untenable. I think this, because I'm trying to figure out, if I think of like Tim Pool, this is a guy that I've had, 3, 4, 5 shows with? I don't know. How many times have I been on Tim Pool? Maybe only 2 or 3 or 4 times? I don't remember. I've been on a show a few times, and he said very positive things about me a lot, right? I think we've probably watched him say positive things about me on his show probably 5+ times. He's mentioned me quite a few times, usually very favorably. But it's because I always inhabited this zone here of like, well, he pushes, but not that much, okay? There's not that much pushback. It's just he's in the chill zone here. So he's like a little bit different, but that's okay. But then as soon as you dip into here, there's not like a gradual overturning of the, okay, well, I'm not too sure about this guy anymore. I don't know about this. But it's like, he's a cuck who's divorced. Fuck this guy, right? Because you've gone into you're challenging them a little bit too much, I think. Yeah, I think that's what's happened. So I think for some people, like, so for Peterson, for Poole, for any of the prior like centristy people that I was friends with, I think now because I want to lean a little bit more hard into this stuff, and I'm not going to let people just say like, oh no, it's all the same memes and it's okay, we can just like blah blah blah. I don't think any of them will ever want to talk with me because it's too much confrontation, it's too much of a challenge for their idea, and everything that they've built on their shows is all about fake challenging, right? It's about bringing on a guy who's like, oh, here's Brett Weinstein, he's a liberal and he believes that the vaccines are fake. Here's Jordan Peterson, he's a liberal, like he's not even conservative, and he probably goes conservative now, but it's all those people that are willing to play in this orange zone where you kind of push back, but not that much, so you can still have these people maintain their ideological purity, but then they can claim that, oh no, look, we do talk to people who disagree with us, but it's only the people that are like very, very, very closely, or at least allow them to maintain like one foot in this world the entire time, I think. I think that's my understanding of it. With a bunch of people debating semantics with you, what's your reasonable threshold beyond which you would decide whether or not the other person would concede? Well, depending on the person, they'll never concede. Like Andrew Wilson would never, ever, ever concede, right? Do they ever tell you what you could say on their shows? Wasn't Tim more upset about your tone when he lost it than your arguments, or did I miss something? No, they'll never say it, but like it'll be pretty... I mean, once you go too far, I think it's pretty obvious you've overstepped. Does that mean you would only ever go into a centrist space again in combat mode and not engage diplomatically? I mean, I'll engage diplomatically, but it's going to be way more aggressive than it was before. Like, it probably won't be quite as aggressive as the cat conversation, but it's never going to be as friendly as it was before. And I'm going to want to know topics ahead of time because a lot of people just flat out lie. Like Tim is probably one of the biggest liars, I think, in that does like the social media stuff. Right, like that Sweden video, that whole thing is just a fucking lie. The whole video is a lie. I'm surprised that he even posted it. But I guess all of his fans just slurp it up without being critical of the thought either. Or like when we argued about who was the one guy, was it Arbery? Who's the guy that got ran down by the truck? And Tim was like, this guy was 23 miles away from his home, and I think he was actually like within a mile or something stupid. Yeah, like. Is your debate with Knowles ever going to see the light of day? It wouldn't surprise me if the Daily Wire told him to axe it because I was so controversial after, but we'll see. It's not even like a hardcore debate, though. I don't think I decided to go ultra hardcore until after. Do you think that Tim Pool exaggerates the prospect of getting a strike from YouTube by having you on his show? It sounds like he's trying to hold on to the more high ground. No. Tim's not exaggerating that. Tim is completely and utterly fabricating it. It just doesn't make any sense, right? The fact that Tim is saying that he's worried that I would get his show banned on YouTube when he's talking about things that I've said on my channel on YouTube doesn't make any sense at all, right? What? Do you think that I'm going to go and get, like, you understand, like, I could get banned for that, right? Like, why would I ever do that? It's just, yeah.
And the Christian nationalism and that kind of stuff, and various things that he said about Alex Jones and whatever. And he didn't like that. Right? Like, so that never happened. And I could also tell that the people trying to arrange that, you know, David Fuller and stuff, they want.
Not that I actually care, because they were typically asked, but does that mean no more Minds events? Maybe not. But I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. I'll chat about that tomorrow. We'll see.
To be like, but you don't have to focus on that, right? Like, you could have a conversation about, you know, you've studied ritual and religion, and he has an interest, so like, aren't you interested in that? And like, well, I know I could have a conversation about ritual. I don't think I'd agree with his take on ritual either, but like, yes, I could do that, but I'm not criticizing him for whatever his symbolic interpretation of ritual is. My criticism is about, you know, rather specific things. So it's, yeah, with Alex and other people, that they recognize that there are costs to engaging combatively and in debate bro type, but they don't seem to weigh up that there are costs to being indulgent and less confrontational as well. And it's not monetary costs, because to be clear, that approach is paying dividends with audience growth and, you know, high profile interviews. But it is a cost nonetheless, and potentially in the level of how harsh your criticism is towards people like Jordan Peterson, who, you know, like the Destiny interview revealed, unhinged conspiracy theorist, absolute loon. And yes, he can also talk in a more engaging way about symbolism and religion. Yes, he can. But you're ignoring a big part of the reason that, like, he would receive criticism and people would, you know, be concerned about, not addressing those kind of things.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of aspects to this. Firstly, it's an appealing meme, because, like, America famously has been very much aware that, you know, it's so terrible because it's impossible that, you know, people from different factions, different political points of view are unable to sort of seemingly have a productive...
A steak dinner.
Yeah, that's right. A productive discussion and demonizing...
Was your goal to convert the host of these century shows? Isn't that the point to reach out the audience more? No, the point is to reach out the audience more and slowly bring them over, which I think is possible. But the issue is that, like, all of these shows are running so far away factually that the little poll isn't enough for me anymore. That, like, if they were all kind of inhabiting the same kind of area, just unfactually or whatever, then maybe it would be okay. But, like, every single new thing is just a total delusional, like, crazy. I don't know if it's like foreign, like, funded or what. It's just, it's too much now. It's way too much. It's way too much.
Each other and making each other out to be just the absolute worst kind of people. And, you know, there's obviously truth to that. So I think people are very receptive to the sort of meme of, isn't it amazing that you and I are able to sit down and have this conversation together? But sort of that avoids the fact that the reason you are able to sit down and have this very nice conversation with John is that you've avoided all of the difficult and meaningful differences in your opinion. But it works for everyone because it
What's your conviction level on the Tim Pool likes just being straight up grifters? Now that they made clear they would only have you on as long as you stop on them. I'd never actually seen that Sweden video before. That video was intentionally cut to be dishonest, 100%. Like, you should know, even without any evidence or any experience, like putting together videos like that or filming or going anywhere else, you can just ask a few basic questions and tell that, like, this is quite obviously, like, dishonestly cut, dishonestly edited. It's like a Project Veritas type video. Like, and anytime somebody's doing something like that, then you know they're intentionally engaging in dishonest information.
It feels nice and it sounds good to have these disparate characters interacting with each other, and it works very much for the figures themselves, because it's always helpful for you in terms of your audience to sort of, you know, bridge a gap. And like, when they get together, they're often sharing their audiences, right? There's a bit of give and a bit of take, and when you take a more, I think, honest kind of line, then you kind of lose that opportunity, and you may even lose part of your audience by kind of defining off and saying, no, I don't like this. And so maybe most of your audience, like 80% of your audience, doesn't like it either, but you lose that 20%. So there's really nothing to gain from the point of view of an influencer in being straightforward and perhaps a little bit combative. But there's a lot to gain in, you know, building those bridges with each other. Yeah.
You can, you know, like Destiny or whatever, there is also gains to being the punchy debate person, right? Like, you can build a profile on that as well, but it's a more lonely path, I think.
And it is, like, the flip side of that is sometimes by having these contrived beefs, right, both of you benefit. You can build up a drama right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you can also build up audiences by the touchy feeling. But it's such a depressing state of affairs when there's like two alternatives, which is a hyperbolic, emotional kind of, I can't believe you know, like this is idiot. Like the drama between Destiny and what's his name?
Vulture Hassan.
Vulture Hassan. You know, like they're all benefiting. Like Hassan and Destiny benefit from that stoush that they're
As he described us, you know, that Batman needs his.
I would actually super disagree with that. I don't think that those are beneficial beefs. I think they're actually detrimental for both of us. Those are a lot of the beefs that occur online are pretty real. People's feelings are very sensitive and very on like display. It's not usually faked shit. Like Hassan and I would both benefit greatly by interacting with each other, but we don't because he's legitimately so threatened and his feelings are so hurt. So it's not actually beneficial at all to either of us.
Joker. Now, which one is Batman and which one is Joker?
Exactly.
You get debate about, but that's you know, that does make for like content for both of them, and they know that. Yeah.
Oh
well,
it's
there
a
we go,
depressing
Matt.
state of affairs. It's all bad.
I know.
Okay. We're going to do connections, then we're doing boring writing. Okay. I need to finish this shit.
Cool too. Trumpites. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm seeing people like Vivek Ramaswamy and others say, if you don't vote for Trump, you're not a real man. Does a real man use his own supporters as battering rams against the United States government, and then when it fails, frees his circle of goons like Flynn and Bannon, but leaves his MAGA-ite supporters, his Trumpite supporters who storm the Capitol, he leaves them in prison?
Yeah, I don't understand. That's a question that I'm going to have in all my future debates about the, why didn't you pardon the, I think I put that in one of the 4 pillars. Why didn't Trump pardon the, all the people on January 6th? Oh, yeah, why didn't you pardon those on J6? I think that's I'm curious how a conservative would answer that. Is your slurping X's cock boogers a good insult? I don't even know what the fuck that means, but okay. X like the platform, or X like XQC, or link this guy's channel. There you go. This guy watches you. You've been on a panel with him. Okay. Lex Friedman is the type of dude to find a dude who finds a cure for cancer and makes a 4 podcast about it. I don't even know what that means. Was that a bot dono? Okay. Butterfly, tuxedo, peacock, nerve, Beethoven, spine, Willy, jacket, cornucopia, kaleidoscope, tortoise shell, jitter, calico, cover, tabby, page. Jesus Christ. Things that are super colorful, like a cornucopia of, like a basket of fruit or flower. Doesn't cornucopia mean, couldn't it be like and then kaleidoscope, peacock. All right, we're guessing on this one. And then I don't even know what calico means. But a butterfly? There's no shot. It's going to be one away, and I'm not even going to know how. Oh, fuck. Are we still one away? A jitter, a jacket. Fuck. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I fucked myself. I am. I fucked myself. I did. I deserve to fuck myself. All right. Well, what else do we have? Things that go on other things, like a tuxedo, a cover, a jacket, and a tortoise shell. The outer layer of things. Tuxedo is on the outside of you. Fuck it. Fuck. Not even close. Okay, what about a book? A book cover, the book jacket, page, and a spine. These are all parts of a book, right? The spine. I think you can call the outer sleeve a jacket, and then you've got like a cover and a page. Okay, parts of a book. Okay. We're back in it. We're back in it. We're back in it. I don't even know what a tabby is. Isn't that a kind of cat? A willy? Is that like a dick? There's no shot. I get this. We're fucked, boys. It's all over. We know that these three went together, right? Cornucopia, kaleidoscope. And then I guessed, what did I guess? I guessed tuxedo and butterfly? I have no fucking idea. I'm never getting this. Calico? I don't know what the fuck a calico is. I don't know how the fuck. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck me. Already guessed. I guessed these four exactly? Oh, okay. Well, fuck me. What was the other thing I guessed? Tuxedo? No, I didn't even. Fuck me. I don't even know what. Cat coat patterns. Okay. Calico is a cat coat pattern. And tuxedo is? And tortoiseshell is? Okay. And then nervousness in the singular. Butterflies, jitters, nerves, willies. His willies? Okay. And then starting with vegetable. Beet, corn, kale, and pea. Okay. Isn't... I don't even... I don't even know how you spell the is it a beet? Oh, it is E. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, strands. Daily delivery. I don't like this game. Like, I feel like it's just finding the other words. Rape, that's a word. Bile is a word. Wow. Globe. Rolled? Dalar? The fuck is this? Herald. Wow. What about news? Really? Is noob a word? No. Pets. Oh, journal. Journal. Biopic. Oh my god. What? No shot. That wasn't a real thing. Okay. Jesus. Pans. No. Oh. Oh, times. Good one. Okay. Hmm. Re... Hmm. We did tire already, right? Did we do bile? Did we do Clertus? No, fuck. Oh my god. News. Okay, what about this? It's got to be something. News. Oh my god, newspaper. Boom. Spangram. We found the spangram, guys. We found the spangram. Tire. This. Oh, tier. Yeah, that's a word too. This is not. Okay. Two more words? With all these letters? How is that possible? Chorical. That sounds like a word. Oracle. That's not even spelled right. It's with an A, isn't it? Right? Yeah. Fuck. What the fuck is this stupid fucking word? Two of them. Tibbler. What the fuck am I looking for? Oh my god. These are not real words. It has to use these letters down here. Fuck me. Well, I should just see it. It should just pop out at me. Oh my god. Oh, hint. Thank god. Get me the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. Oh, Tribune. Kill me, fam. And then this is probably Chronicle somehow. Fuck this game. Okay. We're almost done with the AG section. Then we can just do the day of. And then we'll be fucking done with this. Please. Okay, so in the middle of this call, where he's ranting about election issues, he mentions the special counsel, he mentions the explosion in Tennessee, he mentions the FBI, allegations that the FBI doesn't like him, and he mentions Hunter Biden, all of that.
Real quick.
Hi, what's up?
I'm going to need you to disavow something.
Probably not, but what?
I need you to disavow your take that it was justified to burn down that police station in Minneapolis. Disavow.
I would need more facts of the...
No. It's not okay to burn down police station. I need you to say it.
I don't think I would ever make a blanket statement like that. I would absolutely need more information on that thing.
They burned it down, Stephen. It was the Boogaloo Boys. They had a Molotov cocktail. They were trying to start a civil war. They went to Minneapolis and they were trying to start something off. It was an insurrection, and they threw it at the police station.
Did I support this?
You said that it could be okay to attack public buildings, just not private, in the context of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I stand by that comment. But I don't think I'm defending a particular attack.
To attack them with fire?
In the case, if there's a case of rioting, if you feel like some shit has been fucked and you're public bullshit or whatever, if there's like corrupt cops or some crazy lynching or some bullshit and you want to riot against like public property, then that it might be justifiable. I'm pretty sure that was my argument back then. Yeah. But I don't think I defended it. Oh, okay. I don't remember ever defending the Boogaloo Boys. I don't. Okay. So in the middle of this call where he's ranting about election issues, he mentions the special counsel, he mentions the explosion in Tennessee, he mentions the FBI, allegations that the FBI doesn't like him, and he mentions Hunter Biden, all of that. Yes. Just a part of the tangents that you referred, or that you referenced in terms of his manner of speaking, correct?
Sorry. Something happened with my internet. My bad.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Just real quick, I just want to make sure I understand. So would you agree that burning of the police station in Minneapolis was an insurrection as to a state thing?
No, I think I would have to have more information about.
I'll give you the information and assume that my facts are correct. Is that okay?
Sure.
There were more than one people there. There was an assemblage.
Mm-hmm.
The people there who burned down the station, one of them was the Boogaloo Boy who handed it to another one of his friends to throw it at the police station. So they were using force, correct?
Uh-huh.
It was to resist the laws pertaining to. Sorry, I have to explain the public purpose. The public purpose was to start a civil war. Agreed, that's the public purpose.
Not as laid out in that paper, but okay.
You don't agree that it's a public purpose as laid out on the paper to start a civil war?
No, I think the public purpose means that the grievance that they're fighting against has to be one of a public nature. So, for instance, it can't be rioting against.
They're right wing. They want to start a civil war to replace the government and to have a new sort of to accelerationism.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Assume that that's the case. Assume that those facts.
Sure.
If that were the case and that was their public purpose, and they're resisting the laws with respect to the establishment of the government in Minneapolis, or to the extent that they want to start a broader civil war, they are resisting the laws of the United States under the Constitution, which gives to the particular individuals of the various states authority to control those places.
I mean, if all of that is like pretty, if there's like a fact pattern that matches that, then I'd probably say yeah, it is by definition. Yeah, that would probably even be more. That'd almost be a rebellion at that point. But
yeah, so wouldn't that would be bad, right?
Well, obviously it would be bad. Yeah.
What if it were the same exact fact patterns, but it was for BLM?
I mean, if it was the same exact fact pattern, it would still be bad, and it would still be an insurrection. You've just swapped the nouns, right?
Yeah. So now they want a civil war, accelerationism, for the purpose of having BLM-friendly people there.
Assuming I would imagine it would be, yeah.
So still an insurrection, still bad, right?
Yeah, I would think most insurrections are bad, yeah.
Okay. Hey, man. Hope you're well.
Hope you're well, too. I'm guessing he's saying that the fact pattern matches what some police station being burned down in Minneapolis, maybe? I have no idea. I don't know if I ever looked at any in particular riot or attack. Okay, where were we? Yes, these are just part of the tangents that you referenced in terms of his manner of speaking. Correct? And in response to you or Mr. Rosen, to any of those specific. So throughout this, the president obviously does the great majority of the talking, but throughout this, both DAG Rosen and I are just trying to respond very specifically to what he's saying and saying things like, okay, that's fine, sir. This thing about Pennsylvania having more votes and ballots actually cast, we can look at that. We'll figure that out. You know, as far as some of this other stuff we were saying, we're aware of it, we've looked at it, we've got it, or there's nothing there. I can't remember if we were at this point. I think we were at this point in Georgia to be able to say that we had looked at that and did not believe that to be the case. Question. Yeah, that's the next section of your notes where you say Georgia legislature, or he talks about the Georgia legislature. Can you pick up from there? Right. So it says Georgia legislature is on our side. They want to bring a case, but the governor won't let them, meaning they want to file some sort of civil case. The governor won't let them. He then goes back to the statistics. He says, statistically impossible for me to lose. Bookies had me at 100% on election night. It dropped to 32% in 45 hours. It's never happened before. So now this is an example of DAG Rosen responding, and he essentially said, we'll look at whether we have more ballots in Pennsylvania than registered voters. Should be able to check that out quickly. But understand that the DOJ can't and won't snap its fingers and change the outcome of the election. It doesn't work that way. So DAG Rosen directly says, we cannot snap our fingers and change the outcome of the election. It doesn't work that way. Clear pushback to the president looking for some sort of Department of Justice finger snap to delay the results of the election. Yes, that's what he said. And he was to some extent pushing back and, yeah, trying to make the president understand the department's role. Yeah, so what the president says in response to that pushback from Mr. Rosen, he says, I don't expect you to do that. Just say the election was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman. Tell me more about that. What did you mean? What did you interpret that to mean? So I put it in quotes. That's an exact quote from the president. I took that to mean that he and his campaign, I suppose, were going to be pursuing a political effort on the Hill to challenge the Electoral College votes. And we knew that was the case already. There was already public reporting on this, so I think the president and some of his supporters were talking about challenging Electoral College votes when they made it to the Senate. And so that didn't surprise me that he had this avenue that he intended to pursue with what he called the Republican congressman. Jesus. Genuine question. If there was widespread voter fraud, would that 180 your position on January 6th? No, it would still be an insurrection. It would just be justified, right? But at this point, I don't believe there will ever be, I'm very confident that there will never be evidence of widespread voter fraud. Like 98% confident. Wait, exclamation mark, quote, minus. This is, what's his name? Something Donahue? Fuck. What's Donahue's first name? Richard. What a horrible to spell name. Christ. Why be left at 2%? I don't know. I guess there's always a chance that some crazy shit could come out. So a justified insurrection should bar someone from holding public office? Congress can always pass a remedy and say, well, no, we'll still allow this person to hold office, which is what they did after the Civil War. So there's remedies. You need to bring this up more. I didn't realize that these quotes exist.
People always say that Donald Trump was respected when he was president.
Really? Even if I'm tabbed out? Like not even in the same thing?
And funny enough, Donald Trump is one of
how does it even
the
know?
only presidents where the majority of his cabinet, his hand-selected cabinet, are not endorsing him. 40 of Donald Trump's 44 cabinet members are not endorsing him.
Wait, oh my God. It's young Raynad. Aww.
For a second presidential run. And some of the
I don't know if that number is true. That sounds like a really, really high number.
quotes from these people who work next to Trump every single day, who believed in the in the America First movement, striking, unbelievable. I'm going to read like 3 or 4. You ready? John Kelly, Donald Trump's former chief of staff, quote, he's a person who admires autocrats and murderous dictators, has nothing but contempt for our democratic institutions, our Constitution, and the rule of law. Alyssa Griffin, Donald Trump's former White House comms director, quote, fundamentally, a second Trump term could mean the end of American democracy as we know it, and I don't say that lightly. Mark Esper, Donald Trump's former defense secretary, quote, there's no way I'll vote for Trump, but every day that Trump does something crazy, the door to voting for Biden opens a little bit more. That's where I'm at. Quote, a threat to democracy. Sarah Matthews, a former Trump aide, quote, the American people should listen to what these folks are saying because it should be alarming that the people that Trump hired to work for him a first term are saying he's unfit to serve for a second term. Quote, these are folks who saw him up close and personal and saw his leadership style. I didn't even talk about Mike Pence, his vice president, who said he's not going to vote for someone who puts himself over the Constitution. I didn't talk about General Milley, somebody who said Donald Trump had no concept of foreign policy. He was terrified to serve under him. I didn't talk about John Bolton, somebody who is not a Democrat and says that for the first time ever, he was actually scared to let Donald Trump alone in a room with allies and adversaries because he was scared he'd give up classified information on accident. There's like 40 more fucking quotes. That's crazy. That's crazy. People always say that Donald Trump was respected when he was president of the United States. And funny enough, Donald Trump is one of the only presidents.
That's crazy. Destiny, please. What? Oh, I've gotten tons of offers for the fish tank stuff. I have no desire. I'm sorry. Okay, my bad. Or I'm not interested at all. Why is this format so ugly? All of that, yes. Okay, you know what? Let's do this.